Hi, my name's Shawn Shaler. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek. I don't know why he looks surprised to be here, but there he is. Hey, Chris.
Someone
Welcome.
kidnapped me and said, "Here's a microphone. Talk about things."
Talk about whatever you feel like. And he's like, what is that? And here's some potential topics. Here's some suggestions to get you started. And he just went along with it. Good for you, Chris, for being a good sport. And also, welcome to Avatar The Last Podcasters. Today, it's technically our holiday episode. All the major holidays kind of fall really close together this year, and I don't remember the dates, and I don't want to butcher them, but they like all this week instead of it's usually a better spread. So it's our holiday episode if you're into such things. But before we start talking about holiday stuff, Chris, how are you? How you doing? What are you up to?
I am good. Uh, been what I've been doing. Working on
You're
this custom action figure. It's really big and huge, and it's like the most annoying custom I've done in a while. I underestimated how much work it would be. Like this character, like Batman. There's this universe called Absolute Batman, where he's like 7 foot tall, 350 pounds, just muscles on muscles on muscles. And I had a good figure for it. But he has these shoulder pads that are like spiky, but his shoulders are like bowling balls, pretty much. And it took me probably 5 hours just to do these freaking shoulder pads because I went through a bunch of trial and error and stuff. And but I posted the work in progress for it, and the comic book creator Scott Snyder saw it and commented how cool it was. So
What did you use for the shoulder? Also, that's really cool. What did you use for
okay,
the shoulder pads?
so there's so I have this material that if you superheat it, it's like a plastic, but if you heat it, you can warp it, you
Mm-hmm.
can fold it and stuff. I first went with that, but it's but I just my mind just couldn't figure out how, and it comes out on a on a sheet, but my mind couldn't figure out how to cut out a 2 dimensional piece to make a spherical kind of piece.
I
So
think the
then,
answer is not very easily.
no, it just didn't come out. It didn't look right. Um, so then, whenever I'm lost in creating a custom figure, or I need some type of material, I always just go look at my kids' toys, and I'm like, hey, I'm about to get some type of inspiration or find exactly what I'm looking for. And then that's what happened. Going through their stuff, found a little teacup. I was going to use that, but that got me on the thought of, okay, teacup. All right, I'm getting it. I need something. There was a teacup that I could have cut in half and use as the shoulder thing. So I'm like, this could work. Getting closer to it, and then I found some Easter eggs, and I thought, oh yes, Easter eggs, very easy to cut because I have a rotary tool that
That's
can easily
like a
saw
Dremel
into
deal.
little.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, Dremel. So I used Easter eggs, which worked out great.
That's brilliant. I'm also gonna suggest, have you ever just like walked in, like you swing and miss on your kids' toys, but like just the toys in vintage stock? Because I used to
Oh yeah.
have like He-Man and Turtles, where the the action figures were kind of endless and boundless in how weird they could be. I feel like you could pluck
Mhm.
some decent,
Oh yeah.
spiky
I
Raiders
go to
fan shoulder
the
pads off that.
exactly. Yeah. No, I first search eBay just to get an
Okay.
idea, and then go through the kids' toys, and then if I still don't have it, I go to just to I go to Dollar Tree. I usually go there. I just go and I just look around at Dollar Tree
Yeah.
for anything.
I mean, it's
It's
Dollar
coming
Tree. You
clutch.
just look at everything, and who knows?
Yeah. And then I go to vintage antique stores because they sell a lot of toys and stuff, or they just have random crap that I can use. Um, so yeah, I definitely do all of that.
Fantastic. Awesome. Glad it's working out. Do you have to travel much for Christmas?
No, we're not going anywhere. We're just staying put.
Okay. Nice. So I gave blood today, and Chris, I gotta tell you that giving blood in the middle day is way better than waking up really early to get blood. And that seems like a small thing, but I feel so much better today than I had the past couple times I did it. I don't know
Do
why.
you feel bad after giving blood,
It was in
or
the
like
past. I have not felt real good after giving blood, and I'm just starting to wonder if it's because it's like I'm off my sleep schedule. Like if it's less to do with the blood and more just like my brain wondering why I'm
Mm.
punishing it. Because today, I feel fine. I could go.
Huh?
I could run a mile or whatever. But I gave blood, and I was watching.
You're not
There's
supposed to run a mile, Sean.
I didn't,
Supposed to
and it
think.
took zero convincing to make me not do it because it's very cold outside, so I didn't. But every time I go and give blood, I don't know why, but I always wind up watching like a random movie that I'm familiar with because it's usually coming in like partial way through. So something I'm familiar with but haven't seen in a while. And so today it was Lethal Weapon 2, which is my segue to Christmas movies because it's kind of a Christmas movie. And I think
Okay.
that's why they were playing it, right? Like it was like Die Hard had just gotten over, and then Lethal Weapon 2 was on there. So they were it's like action movies that are / aren't Christmas movies. But anyway, listen, if you're giving blood and you think to yourself, I don't feel very good, maybe try getting a full night's sleep and lots of water and then going. Because I feel very normal
I've
today.
never felt any kind of like I felt fine. I'm like, yeah, I could go work out, but I don't.
I, the past several times, I don't know if I won't say every time, the past two for sure, like enough so that I was like, I got to change it up just to see.
Hmm.
And just platelets for the record, just platelets. Like a triple of platelets, but they do the replacement stuff, and it's just the platelets, not all the blood. But enough so that it's like I got to do something different, and just like groggy and gross and headache. Nope, I think just my brain's like, hey, why are you waking up so early? My brain's not ready to be a dad. Let's put it that way.
Oh
Gonna
gosh.
have to make that adaptation real quick. And listen, I'll come through when the time comes. And oh, hey, that's another T minus 2 months from
Holy
to due date.
crap.
I know it's wild. I'm excited. And then we do drive a lot for Christmas, so I'm off most of this week except for Monday. And
Me
we
too.
drive like across the state, and sometimes the weather's horrible. So what a time to drive across the state, but it'll be all right. So happy holidays to everybody. That being said, that's my segue to our topic, which was just to be something small and lighthearted. Thought we would do our top 5 favorite, separate, completely separate from each other and subjective, but our top 5 favorite holiday movies and or holiday specials on TV shows. I think I summarized that effectively.
Yeah. Sorry, there's no Avatar this week, but it's Avatar's fault. They don't have Christmas. They don't believe in Jesus in Avatar world.
I mean, the Avatar
Imagine there
themselves
was a
is
holiday.
kind of like a
Yeah,
Jesus
like
allegory.
they do. I mean, they do have an Avatar Day, but that's more like a. They were celebrating for hundreds of years to not like that one town to not like the Avatar.
That is kind of a depressing episode because you really feel like Sokka's onto something, right? Like you kind of feel like he's got most of the story put together and Aang's just delivering it badly, but like, no, he kind of believable. And then you're like, oh, wait, Kyoshi kills people. All right, cool.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, if there, the thing is, there probably could never really. Could there be an Avatar Day as a holiday?
there could be like a
That-
wand day. Like if you told me that eventually Republic City instituted like, hey, we need a government enforced day off of work. What do we do? Wand day.
it would probably be Korra. So I
Core
would
day.
honestly think it would be because she saved the city from a freaking atomic bomb.
Sure, sure. But you know,
So, but it,
we don't celebrate George Washington Day. We celebrate Independence Day. That's a bad. You know what? That's a bad metaphor. Let me think of a better metaphor.
but we have President's Day, so we'll probably have an Avatar Day.
I know, but
That seems like
what do
the
you
best.
do on President's Day? What is that?
I don't think I. Well, I think I might have had it off.
It is
No, I didn't.
it's in January. I know that. I'm gonna guess 20s, January 20s.
Why do we have one? Let's get rid of President's Day. Honestly, who the heck created this holiday?
Yeah,
It's the same as like
if you're a really
that's the same
good
as
president, you could maybe just get your own day someday. or I don't know.
Yeah,
Or being the
it's the
president
same
is
as like,
supposed to be a thankless job. Like whatever.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think you can just
That's the
be.
same thing. A way I think about like Boss's Day. Like, who the hell came up with Boss's Day?
I
Like,
know.
I'm a boss, and I'm like Boss's Day came up, and I'm just like, I hope my employees don't do anything for Boss's Day because it's so dumb. I'm not. it's
It's it's ridiculous. But here's the thing, and if my
Some boss
boss is
somewhere probably
watching,
felt like they weren't appreciated enough, and was like, "Hey, we're gonna do Boss's Day."
what is it called? Middle management bosses day? No, anyone who supervises anyone.
Yeah.
If my boss is watching, I apologize and I support you and you're the best boss ever. And she's not watching, but she's the best boss ever. But she does like the such things. Like she sort of is thoughtful about reasons to celebrate and such. And I just would rather not. But thankfully, we have a teammate who's always like, "Hey, give me $5. I'll go figure something out from all of us." Oh, bless you. You're the real hero. Should have a you day. Um, Chris, how do you want to organize our list? You want to do since we attack it a little bit differently? You want to go separate, like you want to go one and then the other, or you just want to snake it like always?
Yeah. Let's snake it.
Okay, let's snake it.
I'm sure we have no overlap. Maybe one overlap.
I'm gonna guess two maximum overlap,
Okay.
two absolute maximum. And if you have 5 to 4 TV shows on yours, then I'm gonna guess one maximum. That's worth noting here. Chris is the TV expert. I'm not the movie expert. Just relatively speaking, I've seen more Christmas movies than I feel awful. I can't even remember. I'm looking forward to your list because I can't even like think of good Christmas specials outside of the Community episode where they pick the fight in the parking lot.
Yeah.
That's like the only Christmas special I could think of, which is
I love Christmas episodes.
pretty good one to be fair. So Chris,
All right, number
yeah,
5.
I'm looking forward to your list. You go ahead.
Okay. Number 5 is Batman the Animated Series has a couple different Christmas episodes. They have one called Christmas with the Joker. Uh, really great. The Joker. The great thing I love about Batman animated series is that the Joker is like threatening, but he's also a clown, and so he takes over this like Christmas special news station and kidnaps the commissioner, kidnaps the news reporter, and he puts on his own holiday special.
That's pretty
And
early,
Batman,
right? Like season 1 or 2.
yeah, season 1 or 2.
Okay.
Yeah, just it's just a great. And for me, a lot of this list are. I don't watch a lot of Christmas stuff around the holidays, but there are certain things I'm like, yeah, I'm in a Christmas mood, or it's the night before Christmas, and I'm wrapping gifts, and I just want Christmas stuff in the background, and so I'm like, oh, all right, let me put on this stuff. This list is a lot of that.
Fantastic. Uh, was is there other Batman animated series Christmas specials? Like, is there roughly one a season and others that stand out, or pretty much just the one you can think of?
There kind of is one a season. Let's see, season. There's there's Christmas with the Joker. Then there is Holiday Nights. Then there's I feel like Mr. Freeze
Yeah, that's kind
has
of
one.
Christmassy. Oh, you mean he has one
Yeah.
specific, not just because he's cold? Okay, cool.
But they do a couple different ones. Hmm. Yeah, well, that's my number 5.
My number 5 is Christmas Vacation, which the Chevy Chase one, which I always maintain is one of those things that like in the masses is a little bit overrated, right? People like worship like it's the greatest thing ever. It's a really good caricature of how Christmas feels, and it is very funny, and I love it. So it's a hair overrated, but it is still pretty comfortably one of the most funny holiday movies that you could watch. Christmas Vacation. Chris, my number.
I've never
Oh,
even seen Christmas Vacation before.
I
I
mean,
know it's a classic. It's one of the things that I'm like, oh, Chevy Chase doesn't. I don't know. His comedy just isn't like as impactful to me.
it is.
Like I did
It's.
not miss him when he left Community. I was like, all right, show goes. Like my enjoyment of the show is the same, all things being equal. He's still good on the show, but
I
yeah,
don't. I don't like Community as much without him, but it's less about him and more about that's like just when people started leaving the show in general,
yeah.
right? And so I don't think it's him specific. He's pretty
Hmm.
slapsticky, and you know what? That does well for some people.
Oh, that was okay.
He's pretty slapsticky, but it still is a good like if you ever get to Christmas and Chris, you always strike me as the kind of guy that if you feel overwhelmed, you don't really show it. But if you ever feel overwhelmed at the holidays, Christmas Vacation does some things that like exacerbates that in manifested physical comedy, and you're like, yeah, it does feel like that. So I don't know,
Okay.
watch it once, probably won't do much for you, and you'll be like, I get it, but not for me. My number 4 is completely cheating, and that's fine because it's a silly list. But my number 4 is you got to pick one or the other. You have to watch an actual like feelsy one that makes you think about stuff. And so, A Wonderful Life, that's the one with the man who's considering committing suicide until a guardian angel comes and shows him his impact that
Holy
he has had.
crap! There's so many huge Christmas specials, Christmas movies that I've never seen before because it just isn't. Just growing up, we just didn't watch these
my
Christmas movies.
it is my
But I did
mom's
not know that's what
genre.
that movie's about.
Yeah, Wonderful Life, and so there's that, or a Chris, and so he's a good guy, and the angel's like showing him his impact that he had on people's life, and then A Christmas Carol
Oh,
is not the same story, but it has like a parallel vibe of Scrooge is a bad person,
yeah.
and the ghost past Christmas past, present, future come show him the various impacts of his life and or that will not be felt.
Oh,
But go pick yourself one of those feelsy movies. I would go Christmas Carol, and frankly, I would probably go with the Muppets one just because I really like Michael Caine. So I'd
hmm.
probably pick the Muppets Christmas Carol. But pick a movie that at least makes you think about the real meaning of the holiday and about your impact on people's lives. That's my number 4. Wonderful Life or Christmas. There's 10 iterations of the Christmas Carol. Pick one of those.
All right. Before we get to number 3, you forgot to remind me to
Oh, you want to do that first?
talk about. I I think I said anyway. It doesn't matter. We can do
No,
that.
you
We'll do
probably
that.
did. I'm a terrible listener. Go ahead. I will remind you.
No, we'll do it. No, we'll do it after. Yeah. Okay.
I thought you no,
My
we're going to do it
number.
right now.
My number 4 is maybe somewhat cheating. But
I just cheated. It's cool.
I am always in the mood when it comes to Christmas time to watch the series of movies, the Harry Potter movies. I know they're not. I know they're like every holiday kind of type. Like they go through Halloween. I know. For you, you tend to start them what after about Thanksgiving or
After
right
no
at
Halloween,
Halloween.
Halloween to Christmas, like in that
Halloween.
bucket for exactly the reasons that you're explaining.
The Yeah, I get that, but I don't get in the mood to watch them until Christmas time. Well, about Thanksgiving, but come Christmas, I'm like, man, I really want to watch Harry Potter movies for some reason. I don't do it every year because it is a task, um, and I don't love those movies enough to watch them every single year. Like, I only watched the Dark Knight trilogy. It used to be a once a year type of deal. Now it's probably once every 2 years, but or it's pretty. I think I'm pretty good on that, doing it once every year. But Harry Potter movies are, I don't know why they're great Christmas movies. I think it's just a time of Oftentimes they have Christmas and they give gifts and stuff, but there's a lot of just going to the Weasley family. I think is what sells it the most.
Yeah, in reality, I'm trying to think of Christmas in those movies, and it like there's like 2 of them where it's important, and it kind of comes up in probably 4 out of the other 6 or something like
Hmm.
that. They're just kind of like cozy movies. They just feel like I got a long cold day inside, or I'm wrapping presents or whatever, And also,
Yeah.
Chris, this might be more important to you than anything you just said, but I just made Gio watch Batman Begins the other day, and we'll probably watch The Dark Knight
Oh
this
yeah.
weekend. Hmm?
Huh? Batman Begins is there. There are so many. I think Batman Begins. One thing I think Batman Begins is the best superhero film of all time. I get why people said The Dark Knight. I get The Dark Knight is like the best film with a superhero in it. But Batman Begins is such an aspirational, great superhero film. It's so underrated. Like I hate when I see people are like, "Yeah, The Dark Knight's great," but like Batman Begins is kind of snoozing. Like I don't know if you're paying attention to the film. Like the film has so much to say. Um, I think about that film like I probably at least once a week. Like in terms of just like how to go through life and live a better life, and things to do. Like comes with so much. Like when I think about having empathy for people and stuff, like there's a scene where Ra's al Ghul, no, yeah, Batman, Bruce Wayne's coming back to Gotham, and Alfred is like, so why are you doing this? And Batman is like, people need dramatic example, shake them out of apathy. Like that's true. Like people are often so slow to act unless there's something dramatic that happens or unless
A catalyst.
it affects them. So I always often think about that. And of course, there's so many other great lines like "Why do we fall?" So we can learn to pick ourselves back up. Things about the difference between harmony and revenge and justice. Um, those things. Anyway, Batman Begins is a great film. Love Batman Begins.
I think he enjoyed it. He likes Christopher Nolan, so he was kind of prepared for the type of work he was getting into. I
Yeah,
think that he will like The Dark Knight more as just like a more like dramatic movie spectacle. I think we'll
yeah,
see.
and that's understandable.
I'll decide.
I get why people love the dark. I love the Dark Knight. Of course, I get, it's
Yeah.
my
In the words of
second
Aziz
favorite
Ansari,
movie
what
of
the
all
fuck is wrong with you people?
time. Yeah,
But yeah, I'll let you know. I think he enjoyed it. He'll probably like the second one better. But you know, we did that episode with John where we did our Batman movie rankings, and I enjoyed that a lot. And I think we described it as that Batman Begins feels like a better comic book movie in particular. Like the villains, the motive, the plot, everything feels more like a comic book creation. But go watch it. That was a fun episode to record.
yeah.
Chris, you're number 3.
My number 3 is Elf. Will Ferrell, great. It's good film, good Christmas moods, vibes. It's all there. Can't go wrong with Elf. Like I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
It personifies like wholesome Christmas feelings.
Yeah.
Although, Chris, I think I can safely say that I don't think our lists have any overlap. I think I can say that
Okay.
now.
I
My
thought maybe Harry Potter or Elf would be on your list.
I thought about Harry Potter. Elf's in my honorable mentions. I thought about Harry Potter, but I think I've gone on record as saying I don't really view Harry Potter as Christmas movies, and so I really waffled back and forth. And I was like, nope, I said it. I dug my own grave. Gonna gonna hold myself accountable.
I would die on the hill that they are more Christmas movies, more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard.
Oh, Chris, what a great transition to my number 3 movie, which is Die Hard. And you know why Die Hard is more of a Christmas movie? Is because Christmas is an integral part of the plot. So the second one, you could convince me, is maybe not a Christmas movie. I would still say it is a Christmas movie. It's a bad Christmas movie, but the plot isn't as integral. It's just a coincidence. It's a convenience. But in Die Hard, Christmas is an important part of the plot, and it's one of my favorite movies, and I love it. But if you prefer Lethal Weapon 2, hey, okay, go substitute your favorite Christmas action movie here. And then my argument for Harry Potter not being is just that there's only like 2 of them where it really is important. The first one, he gets the invisibility cloak, which obviously becomes one of the most like
Hmm.
important facets in the entire series. And then let me think. When he Ghost Snake in the dream with Mr. Weasley. Try to limit my spoilers. What else is important on Christmas? Like it's there, but it's not like an important plot point except for the first one, which is absurdly important. Oh, the eighth one, seventh or eighth one, I get it mixed up. They go to Godric's Hollow and it find out it's Christmas Eve, and that's like the timing feels important. But anyway, long tangent. Die Hard, great Christmas movie, important part of the plot. Number two, I feel like this is the one that people sleep on too much. They write it off as schlock, but it's not. It's a good Christmas movie with good humor and a nice story and good lessons. And it's Home Alone, the first one. You can have the second one if you want. That's fine. Home Alone has some issues narratively, but it is a nice story with good lessons and chuckles and action and feeling. And I really like it. And it's one of my most nostalgic movies. That's my number two pick.
My number two pick, it's definitely not on your list. It is an episode from Static Shock called Frozen Out. I love so many things about this episode. I think it's a kind of a heart-wrenching episode. This episode, Static Shock tends to have a lot of social commentary, and the social commentary varies across different type of things. You know, they talk about the show talks about different religions, different races, different ways of life, social economic status, things like that. And Frozen Out is kind of one of those episodes. First of all, First of all, it starts off with, or at least involves main character Virgil going to a Hanukkah party with his friend who's Jewish, and he just wants to take part in that and learn more about that culture, even though he's not Jewish. And that's cool. And then the main gist of the episode is that there's this power going on. There's this person going on around, like freezing different things and stuff. And then Static tries to go investigate what's happening. And he passed this homeless person on the street, and he kind of ignores her to a certain extent because he's busy, like doing whatever he's doing. And you come to find out it's that homeless person who's doing it. It's this homeless little girl, like she's a teenage girl who's homeless and things. But the episode revolves around Static being taking off his blinders and realizing, oh, I shouldn't overlook these people and stuff like that. Like they're human beings, so they deserve the same type of joy and comfort that I get during the holidays. So really great episode. I typically do watch this every Christmas. Yeah, really great message in it. Some of the message is like clear, like it's not subtle. Like there's a preacher and they're giving a sermon, and I'm like, man, that preacher gave a great sermon. Like in a cartoon.
He gave a 30-second sermon and knocked it out of the park because this is a 20-minute episode.
Yeah. But the episode ends with like Static reaching out to the girl and like end up giving her a hug and stuff at the end of it. And then she ends up figuring out he helps her control her powers and stuff. So really, really great episode.
Chris, do you have honorable mentions to share before we go to one? Because I've got a decent list of just lightly nostalgic stuff.
Sure. Let me go on honorable mentions. This is cheating also. But it's one of my favorite Christmas stories.
Sure.
Not very Christmassy, but the video game. I think we talked about it last week, probably. Batman Arkham Origins. Great freak, like Christmas Eve. Black Mass put a hit out on Batman, like year 2 Batman, for like, I don't know, $500,000 or $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, whatever it is. Assassins after him. Such a great kind of Christmas story. Alfred is like, but still, it's Christmas Eve and stuff like that's typical Christmas stuff. 8 Crazy Nights by
I say Poopsicle probably twice a week.
Rugrats had a great Hanukkah episode.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't recall it, but that's fantastic.
Rugrats is a very diverse. It's funny how many shows were very diverse in the 90s, and and if they were released today, people probably be like, "Oh, it's so woke and stuff." Like people just tell stories that they experience. But like Rugrats is very like there's so much stuff in it that is revolves around just like Jewish traditions and stuff, like Hanukkah, like Passover. Like there was one episode where they're going over like Tommy was like pretending to be Moses. Like I gotta get the Mecca babies out of Egypt.
I can picture his outfit when he's pretending to be Moses.
Yeah, like oh my, like that show was um yeah, just interesting. Yeah, so Rugrats Sonic special.
Nice.
Justice League has an episode called Comfort and Joy, which I really love. It's kind of a vignette of stuff, goes over like every member of the Justice League and what they're doing during the holidays. Superman goes home to Ma and Pa Kent, where he tries to. Superman is so corny, and I love it. He tries to peek at his gifts, but they line it with lead so that he can't see what he gets for Christmas.
His toys are lead painted.
Yeah, and then Martian Manhunter joins him because Martian Manhunter is like alone and stuff because he's like the last man from Mars. And then a couple other interesting little stories there. But speaking of Superman, there's a new Superman trailer out for the next Superman movie, and I've watched it like 11 times at least.
Nice.
The movie comes out in July, but it looks good.
I haven't even seen the trailer yet. I'll have to look.
Yeah. Oh, trailer just came out like yesterday.
Oh, okay. So I'm on the usual Shawn timeline of.
And then the last one is the Community. My last honorable mention is the Community Claymation episode. That's a great episode. Just Community doing different things.
It's right here.
Doing a claymation in a musical episode to deal with because Abed is having a break in reality because his mom he has a feeling his mom no longer cares about him, which rightfully is like, come on, like I know you got a new family and stuff, but that's your son.
Yeah, that's hard not to feel feelings in that episode.
Yeah. So those are my honorable mentions.
My honorable mentions are, so first things first, I don't really like claymation or black and white, so there's like a staunch absence of those on my list.
That's fair. Yeah. That's very fair.
Just not my jam. But I love the Christmas episode where they pick the fight in the parking lot of Community. I think that's a great one. And
please, it's Christmas. It's not Christmas. It's December 15th.
It's December 15th or 12th. I for 12. December.
Okay.
Now I gotta look. But anyway, and she hits him with the candy cane. And then also that guy with the mustache, the bully, is like a weird bad guy in Psych for like a few episodes, and it cracks me up every time.
Oh, okay.
But that's a good episode.
Dark Knight.
Don't tell me. Let me look for him in the Dark Knight.
Okay. All right.
I'll look for him. And then all the silly ones. Elf is probably my highest up, but then you Jingle All the Way. Ernest Saves Christmas was a big one in the Shaler house growing up. And then Charlie Brown Christmas Special is probably my favorite nostalgic one. And then I'm not a big Tim Burton movie guy, but the soundtrack of Nightmare Before Christmas by itself makes it deserve mention. And then the last one that people like care about, but I don't, and I just have to note that it drives me nuts, and I don't really know why. I hate Christmas Story. I hate it so much. It just, as soon as I hear that narrator's voice, I'm like, I can't explain why.
You mentioned Charlie Brown, and when it comes to Christmas time, I will just keep singing Christmas time is here. And I don't know the whole words of the song.
That's
so
about all I got.
Keep saying Christmas time until I'm just tired of singing the song.
It's such a cute special. It's probably my most nostalgic one, and I wanted to put it on my list, but I couldn't decide what else to move.
Yeah.
But do you want to give your one or my one? I forget where we are.
I can give my one.
Go ahead.
My number one, without a doubt, very easy to put it at one. It is a Hey Arnold Christmas episode. I don't know what it's called. Now I gotta look it up. Um, that bothers me that I don't know what it's called.
You're so good at episode titles. I'm actually pretty surprised. Is it just called Arnold's Christmas
I think it's just called Arnold's Christmas.
from season one? I'm
Yeah.
just doing a quick
Uh,
just a Google.
yep. Arnold's Christmas. Great freaking episode. Way darker than I thought it was gonna be. So, in the Arnold household, right? He lives in a house, in a tenant house, and they have Secret Santa. Arnold gets Mr. Win. Mr. Win, I want to say, is Korean, specifically South Korean. Uh, anytime people say they're Korean, I'm like, well, which one?
Are you the one or the one? Although right now I don't think either of them's like a great place to be, but maybe South
true.
Korea sorted its things out.
I just been ignoring the news or tried to for the most part.
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss. It really is. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, just anyway.
We just talked about catalysts like 5 minutes ago, Chris.
The episode. Arnold gets Mr. Win, and Arnold's like, "All right, I gotta give Mr. Win the best thing." And he goes and he looks for like something to get him, and he can't figure it out. So he just asks Mr. Win a little bit about himself, and like Mr. Win's just like, "Oh yeah, like whatever you want to give me, Arnold. Like it's nothing." Maybe he doesn't say that because I don't think he knows Arnold's Secret Santa. But Mr. Win isn't excited about the holiday time because he doesn't really have anyone to share with because he had a daughter at one point, but he had to let his daughter go where he was from. There was a civil war, and they were trying to get people out. And he tells Arnold this story, and there was only enough room, like on the chopper, for his baby, and so he let his baby girl go up there so she can go somewhere and have a better life, probably to America, and he would follow eventually. But he never. So he went to America, but he never found his daughter. He was never able to find her. So Arnold's like, all right, I'm going to track down his daughter. Don't know how Arnold thought he could do it. So Arnold ends up going to, I don't know how the heck Arnold found, to some government official person who can track census records, I guess. But yeah, he ends up, and he tells the guy's like, I can't do this for you. Like, I got a Christmas shop. It's Christmas Eve. And Arnold's like, I'll do the Christmas shopping for you. Like, I'll go and get all the gifts for you, do your Christmas shopping if you can work on this for me and find Mr. Win's daughter. Arnold gets everything on the list except for these rare Nancy Spumoni snow boots that like every young girl wants. And Helga on the other side of the plot, Helga's trying to figure out what to get Arnold for Christmas. It's going to really show that she loves him, even though Helga. Have you ever watched? We never. I don't think we talked about Arnold that much.
Not just like in passing, like I enjoyed it, but not in any serial way, right? Like I have no concept of which season is what, but every every understanding of like which character is which, Helga's shrine to Arnold, etc. Like enough episodes for all that.
Okay, yeah. So Helga has a huge, massive crush on Arnold, but also she's his personal bully because she doesn't know how to properly express herself because she's a young girl. But she's like, "Oh, I will find the best gift for Arnold." So funny to me because she'll be like, "Oh, Arnold," and she has this locket with him on it. And then the next scene, this guy, I forgot his name, but he's always around when Helga is like talking to herself about her love for Arnold.
He's kind of a
Helga
creepy
just
guy.
always hits. Yeah, Helga always hits him in the head. Um, but anyway, she wants to impress Arnold and give him the best gift there is, and then she finds his list, and she thinks it's a list that he has for himself or something. But she also wants these nasty money snow boots. Her parents get them for her for Christmas. They let her open the gift on Christmas Eve. She loves the gifts and stuff. But then she realizes, oh, I can go give these boots. Like, she really wanted these boots. But she realizes she can go give these boots to the census guy. And then, anyway, Christmas Day, Mr. Wynn is reunited with his daughter. My favorite Christmas episode, number one.
I've never been this close to crying on this podcast, and it's because of episode of Hey Arnold. I haven't seen it before, but I might distinctly go. I think I have Geo's Paramount. Surely Paramount owns Hey Arnold.
I've it might be on Netflix.
Yeah, okay.
I've watched it. I don't have Paramount.
I will
Or it's on
distinctly go
I think
find
it's
this
on.
episode because that sounds extremely touching. Hit me right in the feels.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
Well, that makes my number one feel ridiculous. My number one is specifically the Jim Carrey Grinch because it is the best balance of a good Christmas story with a good Christmas moral. It's funny. It's not the most thoughtful thing in the world, but it isn't devoid of lessons or meaning. Like, it's got a thoughtful narrative to it and a happy ending and all the good Christmas feels and sounds. And Jim Carrey in The Grinch is like the best possible marriage of a campy, quote unquote, I don't know what you call it, anti-villain. It's like a villain, but not really in a Christmas kids movie. It's perfect. He's great. His acting in that movie is some of my favorite comedy, probably. We quote that movie year round in this house. Doesn't matter, nothing to do with Christmas. Wait constantly. If we hate anything, we quote the hate, hate, hate lines. Every time I try to do, not that there's tons of opportunities, but sometimes I pull a piece of paper off of the table like you're pulling the tablecloth, and then I'll mess up whatever else was on the table by it, like he does that in the movie. Anytime I'm going over my schedule, anytime I'm not sure what to wear, we quote that movie year round. But anytime I say I'm sorry, it's like, and also, I'm sorry. And that'll buy you instant brownie points in this house. No, great movie, great feelings. I haven't uncovered why more people don't like it, other than just that it's in like the live action in the Who's with the strange like facial, like Uncanny Valley, like they're human but not quite. And I think that probably turns people away, as well as Jim Carrey's large green belly and butt. That's probably unsettling for some people. Great movie, love it. That's the only one that every Christmas I go out of my way to watch. Every single year. Chris,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to remind you to make me rank something blindly
Right.
and immediately.
All right, give me your top 3 Christmas songs.
Top 3 Christmas songs. Okay, what are my top 3 Christmas songs? Holy crap. Specifically, Josh Groban's Holy Night. Oh, Holy Night. That's a good one. And yeah, he's just got a great voice. Oh, geez. It's my next favorite. Man, do I not like Christmas music? Maybe I don't. Oh, that hurts my feelings a little bit to say that out loud. I'm thinking of Joy to the World just because Shirley sings it out loud, and that's just the mindset that I'm having right now. That can't be.
Okay.
Holy, Chris, why is this question so hard? 3 Christmas songs. I keep thinking of the ones I don't like. That's not good.
There are plenty to not like.
There are plenty to not like. Can I say the Trans-Siberian Wizards of Orchestra, Wizards of Winter, like just entirely instrumental? That's a fun one.
Oh, just
that's Mannheim Steamroller, I think, but it's a similar concept.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
all
right. So Wizards of Winter, Oh Holy Night, and come on, Shawn, there's got to be like one more song. What I sing? Oh my goodness. It's impossible. Frosty the Snowman. I was thinking about him if I had to pick a claymation movie, or not a clay. Well, no, it's not claymation. That's animated. It's a cute movie. Yeah, give me Frosty the Snowman. It's catchy. What's yours? Do you have 3 lined up?
All right.
Hopefully
this
less
is
painful than mine.
Cliche as heck, because it is. It's become even more cliche than ever. Is All I Want for Christmas by Mariah Carey.
Okay.
I think it's a great
Okay.
song. Like,
I just
heard singing just even the backgrounds it's like anyway, I can't explain it because I can't do 2 lyrics at the same time. It's like like there's the background in there. It's really good. That's probably number 3. Number two, which I for some reason I didn't know for the longest time was Paul McCartney, was simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Such a simple song. It's just everybody simply having a wonderful
Okay.
Christmas time. Dun, dun, dun. It's the simplest song, but I like that song. Number one would probably be Kelly Clarkson's "Underneath a Tree." She has an amazing voice.
Okay.
She sings it so well. It's like it's hype. It's jumpy, and gets me in a Christmas mood.
Your list had more like pop vibes to it than I
Yeah, I'm
expected.
not.
I
Oh, and I meant to honorable mention, I guess. "Let Us Snow" by Boys to Men.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
okay.
are. Yeah.
Did you hear there's like just a Facebook meme or something? Like it was like 10 seconds, but it was Mariah Carey mashed up with Soldier Boy. So when she says, "All I want for Christmas is you," so stupid. I loved it. I loved it so much. Um, man, I didn't think I would have so much trouble thinking of songs that I
Oh,
enjoy.
not to be poppy. "Silent Night." Can't go wrong with "Silent Night."
Okay.
Love "Silent Night."
I every other song I kept thinking of, and it's nostalgic. It's not that I love it, but I do have positive memories of it. Is the John Denver and the Muppets album? It's like, yeah, I can name every song on that album, which is just the Muppets singing a regular Christmas song in a weird way. But yeah, I didn't think I would have that much issue.
Hmm.
Who knew? I do. Don't hit on Mariah Carey. It's a lovely song.
Yeah.
Chris,
I now would understand if people are like, "Oh my gosh, Mariah Carey,"
I
but
mean,
it's a great
well,
song.
and too much of anything is a bad thing,
Yeah.
right? And it does feel like every single grocery store I've ever walked in at Christmas time, like simultaneously. Like, do you start it based on when I walk in the store? Is that Chris? You know, can we go reverse? Can we go negative and tell me which ones you don't like the most? Like you hear it and you're just like, oh,
Hmm. Um. Uh, Holly Jolly Christmas. I'm not a fan of it. It's
okay,
just too. Just I don't know. Not a big fan of that musical genre in that time.
okay,
Same with "Rocking Around the Christmas Tree." Uh,
same similar vibes, right?
yeah. Oh, another song I really love is "This Christmas." I forget who it's by, but it's like, "In this Christmas
Oh yeah, that's a good
will be
one. Have a
a very
happy. You know,
special
you could probably throw that in
Christmas."
my top three. That's a good one. It's funny that Discord tries to filter out some of the noises that you're making. It's like that's not speech. No, that's a good one. You
Uh,
toss that one in my top three.
yeah, it's good. But yeah, I mean, there's so many to hate. Yeah, there really is.
That so I don't have like a real thorough list, but I will say that that last Christmas I gave you my heart one that drives me up, just up a
That's
wall.
my daughter's favorite song.
Oh no!
Very good.
I'm
Like,
sorry, Chris,
"No,
that you had to hear that song so much.
I give you my heart." The thing is, I don't. I have. There's a certain. There was a time where white dudes were singing the crap out of stuff. Like
They were
they
trying.
were Hall and Oates, Bobby
Yes,
Caldwell. Uh,
they were really trying.
I'm missing another one. Um, they were they were shoot, even Boy George maybe. There was a certain, or oh no, maybe not Boy George. I don't think I'm thinking of Boy George. Um, Billy Ocean, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Okay,
Maybe I did.
maybe I'm
Anyway,
not familiar
but
enough.
but this I don't even know who this singer is who sings that song, but it's a similar kind of vibe for me.
Yeah,
Uh, but I don't mind. I like the song.
there's
So
it drives me. It reminds me of the song that like if you bought a kid's keyboard, like a musical keyboard in a store, and it had like a preset tune on it. That's the melody that I would expect to hear. And then the stupid the Beach Boys one. What the hell is that one called? I have no issue with the Beach Boys. Just that one makes me want to
Yeah,
punch a wall.
I have more of an issue with Beach Boys because they steal a lot of music from black artists.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't know
but
that.
that song, that song, I do admit it, I do think it was their producers. So if you want to not hate them personally, I'm not sure if it was them personally, but their producers.
I'll
Um,
refrain from an opinion without further knowledge at this point. I just don't explicitly have a problem with the Beach Boys, I guess. But
oh yeah, that song did come on the other day, and I was like, holy crap, turn this off.
that's a horrible
Yeah.
song. And then more for lyrical reasons, but there's the Same Old Lang Syne by Dan Fogelberg, which is kind of sort of about a girl cheating on her boyfriend or husband for like a high school flame for an evening and like having a
Mm.
midlife crisis. Like it's a weird, it's a weird Christmas song.
I really hope Theo's listening because I really am curious to hear.
Oh, he
Shout out
would
Theo.
have a great list.
Yeah, I'm really curious to hear his favorite Christmas songs. Especially, man, I need to go. Yeah, watch his stuff.
I bet he would have a pretty interesting list from a very different angle.
And I wonder, are there songs that he sings at these concerts that he probably secretly hates?
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, like he does it because he feels like the crowd.
Like,
really
gosh, I'm good at this song,
Oh,
and I kill it, but I hate this song. Hate this effing song with my whole entire body.
well, that's the artist's
But I
dilemma,
think
right? Like if you think of you making YouTube videos and the ones that you liked making versus the ones that performed well, like there's a crossover, but probably not like a perfect crossover.
Yeah.
And then one that I hate in principle, the 12 Days of Christmas, has to be the worst. That's my number one bottom worst song. I don't care who sings it, which version, it
Yes.
sucks.
Yes. It's why am I trying to keep track of this stupid crap? It's annoying.
Terrible gifts, lazy lyrics. who decided that was a good song?
Okay, came up with this song.
And then I have one last one that I'm going to complain about. See, this is a much easier list for me. Is the ones that because most of them are like I'm like oh, okay. Little Drummer Boy kind of gets on my nerves. Any song. This is not just holiday specific. Any song where a good chunk of the lyrics are just noises. Usually not down with that. But I did see a good meme the other day. Was like, Mary and Jesus have a son. God become man. Some random boy. And it was just the one-handed drummer from Def Leppard, like going on an insane drum solo by himself. And that cracked me up. And this concludes Shawn's least favorite Christmas songs, with some real bad ones. Chris, other holiday thoughts? This is this technically a holiday episode if we have such a thing. I'm gonna go watch the Hey Arnold one like immediately. That touched my heart, and you were just describing it. I almost shed it.
It's a great episode. Oh man, really great.
Arnold reunite a kids Nickelodeon show, and he's reuniting a war refugee with a long lost daughter.
Yeah, and his daughter's like probably 20 something.
Which means she could have done that work herself. Just throwing it out there, lady.
Now this is also the 90s when things finding people wasn't easy.
Times be wild, you right? That being said, Chris, we got another episode to do, so I think that's our holiday episode. Happy holidays! If you travel, travel safe. If you don't travel, stay home safe. Hey, there are, you know what? I should have said this earlier, Chris. There are things that they call warm lines. So, like, holidays can be difficult for everybody. If you are not in an imminent danger, but you just feel like you need to talk to somebody, and I don't have the number, but they're called warm lines. They're not hotlines, they're warm lines, where it just like you're having a difficult time, and maybe you don't have somebody to talk to right there, but it's not like a hotline, because I think hotlines could have like I'm gonna call it consequences. That's too negative, but like if you call a hotline, you could be subject to, like a police report and or an ambulance or whatever potentially. But a warm line, and it just to talk things out with a, I don't know, licensed or certified professional of some type, I hope, or to somebody. And yeah, holidays are difficult for everybody. Nothing to be ashamed about. There are things called warm lines if you can't find somebody else to talk to. And so
yeah, you can go to warmline.org to get a list of warm lines by state.
Thanks for Googling that. Warm lines, yep. So again, hotlines, not that they're bad, of course, they're not, but they could have sort of other the consequences is too negative, but that. So yeah, keep that in mind. Holidays difficult for everybody. So be nice to everybody because they can be difficult for everybody. Be safe, travel safe. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.